Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome to Keep It Real with Dr. Lil. I'm so glad to be here. Yes, everybody, I miss y'all too. I miss y'all. But y'all know when y'all don't see me, that means good things are happening. It's never bad stuff, y'all. Because when the Lord is in something, He's moving it along. So there's been a lot of traveling, a lot of different things going on back and forth, and so on. But I am happy to be here today to talk to you about your favorite subject because I know y'all been sending me emails like, what's happening and what's going on? So I want to give you a quick update. I don't want to spend too much time with the case because there's other things going on in your life besides the case, at least in mine anyway. But I want you all to know that everything is good. Although there's people trying to make certain types of things more embellished, like attorney fees, it's all smoke and mirrors. And some of that stuff is from media, but nobody's talking about it because it ain't real. And when you don't have a foundation or a premise of a case, you don't have anything. When fraud comes in, it's not voidable, it's void. It is, everybody. So at the end of the day, I think that it's very telling when someone is trying to extract some sort of attorney fees from you. And I just found out yesterday about the California attorney fees, although they sent it last week sometimes. It's not a priority, so I didn't even look at it. But nonetheless, other people did. And it's all a joke to me. I mean, it is. I'm not trying to be funny. It's a joke to me because you really think somebody's going to do something for you and your foundation was fraud? Really? What country are you in again? So at the end of the day, I guess because maybe you're female, black, I don't know, minority, and the whole thing with the attorney, we'll talk about that later, or why we have an attorney or not attorney. We got attorneys behind the scene. So there's stuff going on. But nonetheless, everybody, I wanted to give you a quick update on what was happening with our cases. One, as you guys know, we just recently opened up a New Jersey District Court case. That case was opened up because of the defendant going back into New Jersey and they were using my support number to do things that they wanted to do in the court. Why they got away with it? That's the question you should be asking. Why would a judge, any of them, do anything for someone who says they don't have jurisdiction in the state? And now you're asking for something, and what you're asking for, it has no legal authority or sound. It's manipulation, it's misinterpretation, it's all the things that you think about. And that's why nobody's worried about it, and surely nobody's talking about it. Nonetheless, it did happen. So we are back in New Jersey doing just that. But there are some other great things coming out of that. And I'm so glad to be a part of New Jersey in that regard. Because you know, I still got a property there. And the property is alive and well and everything good, y'all. And people try to do stuff calling themselves with attorney fees. That's the only avenue you can go to try to lure in people in and make up stuff. But even I haven't even been to a real hearing. So I think it was a phone call we had. And I wasn't even sworn in, so it wasn't a hearing. It was just a conversation, but people wanted to talk to me because they want to try to get something on record, which they really didn't get anything at all. And I had to be kind of cognizant of what was going on because there's other things happening at the same time. I'll leave it at that so that people can, show who they are. And that way people at the top can know what's really going on down here. Nonetheless, the district court, we have a person, judge, I should say, over that case who was over our case in the Third Circuit. Now, I asked him to recuse himself, and I asked him to recuse himself, and he said it's a different case. But why would you want to be on a case when somebody already said you were a problem in another case? It don't even make any sense. This is why a live controversy and things that happen with cases are important for people to keep tuned in. You want to try to do stuff on the procedure. You don't want to get to the merits because you know that's going to be a situation. But we're going to get to the merits, right? We are. And it's just interesting to me, but we're still asking him to recuse himself from our case. I don't think he's a good person for us to be on our case if he's been named in a Third Circuit case. That's just my opinion. And there's case laws and other stuff to back that up, but here we are. Now, people are saying they're going to be making some noise about it. You can do whatever you think you want to do as long as it's in the right, tasteful way. But at the end of the day, I do appreciate the support. So that federal case is going on. That is about void orders and about a court doing stuff with no subject jurisdiction. So let me explain the same thing again. I'm going to keep saying it over and over again. When the case started in 2012 with the current defendant, the judge dismissed the case for personal and subject matter jurisdiction without prejudice. He also put in what we call a seal order, and the seal order was for the public not to come to the court and the courtroom to be closed. About a month later, when we became aware of the fraud of the defendant, saying he didn't have any properties in the state, the orders that he put in for August 13, 2012, both became void, period. It's not voidable, it's void. Whenever a order has been obtained by fraud, it's no longer got a use. So the New Jersey courts never wanted to litigate, if you will, that fact. But you didn't need to litigate it because it's still there. In other words, even if you don't litigate, it's still there. So they had other things that they did, and we did over the years regarding, in my case, jurisdiction, trying to resolve or cure that situation regarding the fraud, but they never wanted to do it. And we were just basically doing that to bring paternity closure for my godson, because you can ask for paternity without support. That's a fact, everybody. But at any rate, the court and the defendant's attorney over the years she said 14 times she counted between 2012 and 2015 that the court has no jurisdiction. None. No matter, you can't ask for nothing. But somehow they were able to do sanctions. So there's the stuff that they're talking about is so blatantly obvious. And the transcripts are all out there. It appears that some of the associate parties are releasing even the newer ones. I guess there's some newer ones. Maybe it's not newer ones. Maybe it's just old ones that people didn't know about. But there's a lot of stuff out there now. And to really think that what people would not believe, they would believe something like this? Did you think they would believe it? You didn't think that, did you? But at any rate, moving on, that's the main thing, the New Jersey thing. Then, of course, the California case, we had two reconsiderations. The first reconsideration was about the judge not having all the information to make a right revelation. This was regarding the California case. It was a guy out there, I can't think of his name right now, but it's a California case had two reconsiderations. The first reconsideration was about the fact that we felt that the defendant was trying to mess with the jurisdiction in New Jersey, and we were right, using void orders or premise that doesn't have no legal standing. So as a result of that, and her not having, the judge not having all the documentation to reconsider not just the TRO, but also the preliminary injunction that's on the table regarding stopping them from doing things in New Jersey that will be improper. And that was for the defendant. The one for California is dealing with the actual court to do pretty much the same thing, because they're using or trying to use orders that don't have no legal value. Now, Judge McBride's order from August 13, 2012, was about no subject. So the no subject is really the cherry on the whipped cream. But the biggest thing is fraud and fraud of court. You can't do something that is just not there. I mean, if it's not there, it's not there. So nonetheless, the California has the two reconsiderations, the one I just mentioned. The second one was about the motion to dismiss from the defendant and the motion to strike. And pretty much that one, again, no premise, no premise, nothing in which you can lay your hat on, so to speak. And as a result of that, you don't have a case in which you can say whatever you're saying, because you need a case in order to do that. And in our case, the case is void, not voidable, but void. So that's a fact, everybody. At the end of the day, you could go around this tree 100 times. It's not going to change anything. You're still going to be right back where you started. So those are the two reconsiderations is there. The defendant apparently put in their request for attorney fees. Can you imagine that? And try to ask for a whole lot of money. And I just found out about that yesterday, because that's how much it is important to me. I mean, I'm not trying to talk it down. I'm just saying it's ridiculous anyway. But now it's more ridiculous when you try to inflate a price that you're not going to get. You're not gonna get nothing. There will be no attorney fees paid, period, right? To no one, because nobody did anything, and there hasn't been no loss here. What you brought to the table and what you're trying to fight for has no foundation, right? So that's the fact. So at the end of the day, that's the two California. So the biggest thing is those two things, and then there's some other beautiful things coming up. I'll let you know about that in another week or so. But those are the two main things, everybody. New Jersey's District Court. We're looking to get our request made in terms of stopping the family court from continuing to use orders that don't even have any legal basis to do it. I mean, it's a waste of conversation, right? Even the attorney said it. So, and those transcripts are already been released. They were already in the public. Some of them were already in other district courts. So then that's that. And then you have just basically that's it, the public awareness and what we're trying to do. Okay, the fraud, the California is fraud and civil damages case, not paternity. Imagine that, no paternity, y'all. Car, we went back. Okay, so we went back to New Jersey because the defendant went back to New Jersey and he was trying to block a California filing, which he put in his documentation. New Jersey is still trying to use void orders, and it's just not going to work. It's just a waste of time. Nobody even moved by it. That's why nobody's talking about it. And then California is aware of New Jersey's issues through an upcoming notice, which we already talked about. We put in a notice about that. The final word is that we're clearing the record. We're imposing misuse of void orders. We're stopping retaliatory conduct. We're protecting the constitutional rights to access courts for people when there is stuff that happens to do it, because I was blocked from responding to the fraud that you already knew was fraud. And then assuring all legal matters proceed in a fair and a lawful basis. So yeah, for those of you who are interested in trying to help, we are asking people to call the FBI and the New Jersey Commission's office and just ask them to review our case, to open an inquiry, to investigate it, review it, etc. We do have some other persons who's been very, very helpful, and we're very happy about what may be already going on. And we just want the public to continue to support and give us what we need in terms of that kind of support, because that's very much needed. We can't do this without you. And then we'll keep you abreast on the technicalities and what's happening, so forth and so on. So in a nutshell, we are just trying to fight for justice. As I already told you, there will be no attorney's fees paid to no one at any time. That to me is hilarious, because you want us to pay you for fraud. And just say a prayer. It's going to be fine. We know that God loves justice. God's going to take care of justice. God's going to execute justice. And people who have been put in place to call out and do what's right by justice and don't do it is bringing a curse on themselves. They just are. So at the end of the day, there's some great things coming up. Some great things are still happening. I want you to pay attention. Help us make a voice for not just us, but others that are like us, that might find themselves in situations that they didn't really call themselves being in, but because of the circumstances, they have to fight. I'm not intimidated. I'm not backing down for anything. Anything that people are trying to do for media, especially some so-called attorney fees and so-called this, you never did defamation, but you want to try to go down this road to make it look like what? Doesn't hold any value to what really is the situation. It just is. It just isn't, rather. And it's a shame. But nonetheless, I wanted you guys to hear from me first that everything's moving along. Everything is moving in the right direction. There's no hanky-panky going on here. Nobody's scared. Nobody's backing down. Nobody's none of that, because it don't mean nothing. And there's other tools in the toolkit, because we live in a good country, everybody. And in this country, it's about the Constitution and doing what's right by following the law. That's how we operate. And when we don't do it, we don't operate. So there are things out there and tools out there and things that you can do to help your situation when you find that you apply it. That's exactly what we have. So we're thankful that the things are lining up and what we need is in place and it's going to help maneuver and work for us. And I am fully confident that the law will prevail. And the law is going to prevail correctly. It's going to prevail right. And the people who try to get around to hold us down with procedure, to stay away from the merits, you're going to be removed. We're going to ask for you to be removed. Thank you, but no thank you. So at the end of the day, we want justice. We believe in justice. We walking in justice, and we're praying for justice. And we know God loves justice. We know this. So as a result of that, all that other stuff, just to give you update, beautiful, whatever, that's part of the process. But the real thing is the belief that you believe in a system that works in the integrity of the people who run it. That's what we do. That's what we do as people. We believe in what we believe in because we, as the people, we the people of the United States of America. It's the Constitution. And that's how we run our company and country. And that's why there's things out there. You'll find we're going to bring this to everybody's attention. Tools in the toolkit that you can use to protect yourself. I mean, sometimes, yeah, you have an attorney. Sometimes you don't. Sometimes attorneys is working behind the scene because they know stuff. There's things that's happening to people at the top. They're looking at some of these persons that's calling themselves judges and hearing from their ears what they're doing as it relates to the law blatantly. So at the end of the day, I'm happy and thankful, and I'm grateful for you. And just be encouraged. Be encouraged as we look to move forward, knowing that God loves justice. And when He loves justice, that means you can prevail, and you will prevail. Believe, walk in it, and search it out. Thank you so much, everybody. Look forward to talking with you soon. Have a blessed, happy Thanksgiving on tomorrow. Eat as much as you want and all you want, and enjoy your life, your family, your friends. And if you're by yourself, enjoy being on your own, being by yourself. It's okay. And then when the time comes, you will be with family and friends and so forth and so on. But be encouraged, everybody. God loves you. We love you. And this is Keeping It Real with Dr. Lil.